Dun, 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 dun. Help! Somebody help! It's Bruce Leroy! Good evening, bitches. No, I'm playing. Good afternoon, I should say. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on, man? Hold on. Gotta do the bow right. At your service. Hey! Alright, y'all. So, as I promised, one of the very few times I actually keep my damn promises. We are going to stream today. So, like I said before, we don't have time to do piano because we are behind. So, today's going to be all about NFL. But before we get started with that, man, follow me on the Twitch. I'm Bruce Leroy, BIH. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm Bruce Leroy, fuck. I was so confident, man. I was like, I'm not even looking at the goddamn screen and doing my thing. Whatever. Fuck it. We're going to go back to the industry. And the industry, what the fuck? God, you, boy. You get back to the fucking intro, dog. What the fuck? Okay, hold on, my because this shit getting spicy, my dog. All right, hold the fuck up. Okay. All right, dog. We because these headlines is fucking going crazy. All right, bruh. Okay. So, hello, grow today. Look at these niggas coming up here trying to nuke my goddamn channel. Thank you, assholes. I appreciate you. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, I am Bruce Leroy. Follow me on TikTok, it's Bruce Leroy. Once again, follow me on this Twitch, I'm Bruce Leroy, BIH. Also, follow me on my YouTube where I put all my Twitch streams, I am Bruce Leroy, okay? We rebounding. Get off me! Shout out to Above the Rim, bro. So, we had a pretty good stream the last time. I ain't gonna lie. So we'll get back to piano tomorrow. All right, now there's a few things I want to discuss. So I want to discuss a topic that I literally just got reminded of off this NFL news. So Daquan Wright, our tight end, is going back to college. Now, real quickly, my thoughts about professional players going back to college, I think that shit should not be allowed. Now, let's just say, for instance, you go in the draft and you get undrafted. I think there should be an option for you to go back to school if they'll take you. However, why do I give a fuck? Mystery badge. I don't give a fuck. I genuinely don't care. I don't know. And of course I can't find my damn. Hell my gosh. Gee golly whiz. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a rat's ass. Are you fucking serious? What the fuck is it? What am I looking at? Why are they doing this shit? Killing me, dog. What the fuck? Okay, cool. We got it back. We got it back. No, I wanna. Oh shit. Fuck. Okay. Because I don't want to get rid of my chat. Cause I felt this bitch like a yoga man. Okay. So if you, for instance, you get drafted and you get drafted, you don't, okay, you enter the NFL draft and you don't get drafted. If there's an option for you to go back to college, that is okay. So Daquan Wright was our tight end. I think we released him or whatever. So I'm just going to read a little bit more of the article. Former NFL player set to return to college after judge ruling. Daquan Wright expected to play for LSU Tigers under coach Lane Kiffin. Need to know. Former Ole Miss player Daquan Wright expected to sign with the LSU Tigers to be waived by the Cleveland Browns. I think he was with the Eagles earlier. Wright and other athletes from the 2022 recruiting class were granted a temporary restraining order to play an additional year in college. Browns, what does that mean? Browns head coach Todd Monken joked that he wondered why LSU coach Lane Kiffin called him. after being waived by the Cleveland Browns. Tight end Daquan Wright expected to become the first player to return to college football after playing in the NFL. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Wright, 22, is planning to play for the LSU Tigers pending waivers. The Browns are waiving tight end Daquan Wright, and if he clears waivers, he has an agreement in place for the 2026 season to play for LSU per agents Drew Rosenhaus and Kyle Lincoln. Schefter reported on Sunday, August 23rd. Wright is believed to be the first player who could play for an NFL team to go back to college. Okay, that's all I'm reading. I don't give a shit like that. Okay, so it prays out for Genty with the sprained ankle. But here's the thing, okay? I don't think that shit should be allowed. Unless you enter the NFL draft and you don't get drafted, I think it's fair that they give you an option. But once you enter the professionals, it kind of, I know he didn't get no playing time, but I just don't think, it's not the biggest deal in the world to me, but I do think there's a little bit of a competitive disadvantage. There's a little bit of a competitive disadvantage. I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe I'm not making a shit ton of sense right now. Because technically, if he didn't play a game, or he didn't like, but I do think to an extent it does fare some kind of uncompetitive advantage. It's like a fucking 27-year-old. And you know that, I forgot what this dude's name is, but I don't know if it was Texas or whatever the case may be. The nigga was like in his like late 20s. Nigga tried to be like disguise himself as a high schooler, and the crazy shit is the nigga actually fucking had a girlfriend, which, like, honestly, I don't really, how should I put this? I don't give a fuck as much that he went back to high school, even though I do think it's kind of weird. I don't really give a fuck too much that he went back to go play high school basketball and try to become a top recruit so he can go to college, whatever the case may be. Even though he would have got caught because you would have needed to give your social security number and everything. So I don't know how he would have got that information. But I will say this. It's not so much that he went back to high school that pissed me off. It's more or less, why the fuck are you a 20-something-year-old dude fucking dating a high schooler? That's what pissed me off. Not necessarily the fact that he went back to high school and trying to masquerade and play ball. I don't really care about that too much. Even though it is unfair, I don't really care like that. I'm being honest. But the fact that you took a fucking underage girl, then that's a fucking problem. That's where we got to draw the goddamn line. Obviously, that's not comparable, but it does remind me of that incident. I just don't think this should be allowed. I think we're giving people too much fucking freedom. It's already crazy enough that fucking you giving college players millions of dollars. Like, and you wondering why niggas don't develop the way they do, because you're giving kids that don't know they fucking hair from their goddamn big toe fucking millions of dollars. They just entering adulthood. So these coaches and these the NCAA and all these schools make a shit ton of money off of these kids, and they get nothing. So I don't mind them being allowed to monetize their name. Go ahead and do so. But once you goddamn these $1 million, what the fuck do a college kid, especially one that's on a full ride, need $1 million to do fucking what? To goddamn pull in the lot with a Ferrari and show off? You're just asking for that young man, and you can't even get mad. So if dude sit up there and he decide that, man, fuck football, I got $1 million, nigga, I'm worried about spending this goddamn money and looking rich. Instead of playing for the team, he playing, and then you got niggas trying to transfer because, let's just say for a hypothetical example, because I think we talked about a quarterback last year, and we never heard his name ever again. So that tells you a lot. But that's like, now college students going to be talking like fucking, they will be like, yeah, well, Texas offered me $1 million, but Tennessee offered me $2.5 million. I'm going to think I'm going to go to Tennessee. Like, why the fuck do we got kids just entering adulthood thinking about shit like that? They need to be worried about going to school. You got a full ride. So you what the fuck do a 18-year-old kid? Now, I'm not saying that if you skilled at something, you shouldn't get paid from it. But again, it's just, I don't know. Like, I think that college students should be able to monetize off their name if they can do so. But I don't agree with giving $1 million contract. Does that make sense? Like, it's different, right? Because you could be an 18-year-old producer and be, you know what I'm saying, somebody amazing. And obviously, if you work your way up to get $1 million, cool. But, like, honestly, when it comes to football or college football especially, you got to get guys to get focused. And you're asking a lot out of a kid, out of a young man. You just gave this man millions of dollars. At that point, where the fuck is the incentive for me to focus on football? Where's the incentive for me to worry about the team? I'm not worried about the team. I'm worried about how the hell I'm going to spend this goddamn money. You know what I'm saying? Real quickly, and I'm going to say something, and I'm going to tread lightly on this because I typically don't talk about, I'm kind of switching the subject just a little bit. And as you can see, I forgot the headband, so I got the little fucking long sleeve shirt wrapped around my goddamn chest to try to do a little something different. I forgot my headband today. I thought I had it. I thought I actually had one in my bag. I fucking don't. I don't know where the hell it went, but I'll make sure I get one tomorrow for tomorrow's stream. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. So T-Banks and Cynthia, I've been seeing them come up on my timeline a lot. And I typically don't like to talk about people's relationships because it's actually none of my business in the grand scheme. It's not a nobody business. But I am going to talk about it because it keep popping on my goddamn feed. If it was something that shit in private, I wouldn't like, oh, I'm going to try to go search it up. No, it just popped up on my feed. You know what I mean? Because I happen to look at T-Banks' streaming clips and shit like that. I'm a fan of his. So here's the thing, and I have to be totally honest with you. There's two modes of thought I have to these situations. So they playing this game. I don't remember what the name of the game is called, right? And T-Banks try to tell her, hey, listen, you got to do X, Y, and Z, right? And then she's like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And then she dies every time. And then I guess, when you tell somebody something and they ain't listening to you regular, it's like, it's hot on the bottom. It's hot on the bottom. It's hot on the bottom. It's hot on the fucking bottom. Sometimes, like, that kind of progression. It's like you start off nice, and then you get a now you don't even give a fuck that I'm trying to tell you it's hot at the bottom. You just gave a fuck that I yelled at you, and it's kind of the similar situation here. I'm very tentative about this. These are grown ass people that can do whatever the fuck they want to do. It's technically not my business. I'm just talking about it because I saw it on my feed, and I think there's a bigger discussion that can come out of this. I'm being honest with you. I don't think them two. I know why they got back together. I thought it was cool at first. I thought it was cool that T-Banks kind of admitted, you know what, I went too far on something because I feel like he did. So I thought it was cool. But looking back on it, these two, and it's just my opinion, they can do what the fuck they want. If they want to stay together, good for them. I don't care like that. But them two just don't seem compatible. It's like if I gotta go to do the most to try to get you to listen to me, even off a bait, because when I looked at the comments, a lot of niggas be like, man, why you argue with her, man? Let her be. Listen to me very carefully, okay? Like, you motherfuckers, like, y'all kill me. Because I'm going to be honest with you, and I have to say, you already know I don't give a fuck. I say what I want to say. If a man was acting like what Cynthia was acting like, right? And a woman was saying, like, yo, stop acting like X, Y, and Z. Y'all be like, yo, get his ass, sis. Get his ass. Matter of fact, I'll take off my belt. You listen, I'll listen. We'll both beat his ass together. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was a dude, if the roles were reversed, the reaction would be completely different. But all y'all looking at is, and I'm looking at too, right? Because I don't have time to look at these people's streams. And no disrespect, because I'm a fan of T-Banks. I just don't have time to look at his stream because I got other shit. I'm trying to be something in my life. I got other shit going on. I got to work, this, that, and third. But I'm speaking about this, even though it's technically not my business. It's not my place to really speak on it. I'm speaking about it because it's a larger conversation to have out of something like this, right? Number one, y'all niggas that sit up there bitching in the comments, let her be. Listen, if we're in a relationship together and if something is wrong, I want us to talk about it. If my woman feel like that I'm not treating her right, or there's things that I'm doing that's making her feel uncomfortable, I want her to tell me. The same way, if she's doing things that's making me uncomfortable, or she's crossing certain boundaries, or she's doing things that I'm not particularly fond of, I'm going to communicate. That's what two people that love each other are going to do. They're going to communicate their fucking problems. So the fact that some of y'all had a problem with T. Banks, communicate to his woman, hey, listen, I'm not, because you got to understand this, it's not just about the fucking game. You understand what I'm saying? If you can't even listen to me off of simple, like, miscellaneous ass shit, like simple, regular ass gaming, how the fuck can I trust you that you'll listen to me when I need you to listen to me? So from what I'm looking at, it seemed like, and this typically happens to a lot of women, not all of them, but a lot of them, they pay attention. It's like when you try to tell them something, you try to get them to take accountability upon, their actions that are not necessarily ideal. Rather than taking accountability at that moment and saying, you know what, I hear what you said, I'll do better. By the way, it ain't all women. I'm just saying. I'm just making that very clear. But there's a lot of them that do this. They worry about two things. They worry about how you're telling them and how they feel about what you're telling them. Not what the fuck you're telling them. So y'all niggas in the comments talk about why T Banks, let her be? She clearly left in my emotion. Like, no, y'all gotta shut the fuck up because y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. In any relationship, whether we friends, we homies, or whether it's my girlfriend, whatever the case may be, I want us to have open communication. If something is wrong, if I'm doing something wrong or vice versa, we have to discuss these things. But some of y'all dumbasses in the comments talk about because you guys are maybe trying to simp. And I don't know what the fuck why you guys doing this. Maybe you feel like this. I guess in this world, women can't be wrong. Like, I guess some of you motherfuckers really believe that Ariana Grande song. You know what I'm saying? If you catch my drift. But bottom line is this. Bro, if I love somebody, in any relationship where I'm close to somebody, if you're doing something wrong or you're crossing a boundary or it's a thing that's frustrated about how you moving, like, here's the thing. We all going to do shit to annoy each other. That's just what it's going to be. I'm going to do something to annoy my partner and vice versa. We're all going to do it. That's just human nature. We all are annoying to everybody who we have relationships with. We're annoying to some degree. And if you think you're not annoying, you're part of the problem. You're probably much worse than what man, I'm never annoying. Everybody likes, okay. They probably goddamn waiting for that. They probably be peeking out like this and shit. About to fuck around and get whiplash, making sure the door closed. They can talk about your ass behind your goddamn back. Oh, shit. Be like, feel like a goddamn Pilates class and shit. That bitch get on my motherfucking nerves. She get on another, hell yeah. She get on my motherfucking nerves. Her ass annoying as hell on bro. Like, god damn, all she want to do is talk, man. She never let nobody get a goddamn word in. So if you don't think that you're annoying, by the way, it's not gender specific. I know I said she as an example, but it's not gender specific. If you think you're not annoying to somebody, you're the problem. Straight up, you're a problem. Right off rip. If you can't goddamn be honest and say I'm annoying at times to some people in my circle, you're a problem. You're a problem. Stay away from your dumb ass. But anyway, moving forward with that. In any relationship, you're supposed to communicate when something's wrong. If I can't communicate with you, or I'm having a difficult time communicating with you, there's a good chance that relationship don't need to be. Because fuck the game. The game is like some light shit. It's not that serious, right? It's generally not. Even though I do understand the frustration of you telling somebody how to do something and they're not fucking listening to you. Then they sitting up there, then we're trying to make progress. And then you're not, I'm telling you some shit on how to do it and you're not listening. You keep saying, I know what I'm doing. But then you clearly don't know what the fuck you're doing because you're not whatever. So I'm going to keep it a bean. They choice, don't give a fuck. But what I will say is this. I don't think that they're compatible in the long run. Because if she can't listen to him off some light ass shit, some nothing ass shit, there's no way in the hell she's gonna listen to him. I'm not saying T Banks is perfect, right? But one thing about T Banks, that the things that he did do wrong, he owned up to it. So I respect him from that. But if I can't get I'm going to be honest with you, bro. And I don't give a fuck who feeling the type of way about it. If I'm communicating with my girl and it's like fucking pulling teeth, and I'm talking about she always got a rebuttal, she don't let niggas finish their sentence, that means she has no fucking respect for me. And I'm not saying that this is the case, but these are typically signs of somebody who has no respect in a relationship. Because if I respect somebody, I'm going to sit there and not only listen to what they say, I'm going to take what they say into consideration. Not, oh, I listened to what you said, and the only thing I got from what you said is how you said it and how I feel about what you said. Now, granted, you can't talk crazy to people, but in the same breath, if I know that it's coming from a place of there's still love there, you're just frustrated with me, I'm going to let it rock. Why? Because I know that you love me, you just not feeling how I'm moving right now, and I'm okay with that. And then I'm going to make the adjustment necessary so that way I'm tolerable to be around. You understand what I'm saying? So if I can't listen to you all, if I can't get you to listen to me off a silly ass fucking game, what in the fucking hell makes you think that if, God forbid, any time our life is in danger, that you're going to listen to me? It's not going to fucking happen, bro. It's not going to happen. I'm going to be honest with you. If it was me, her ass getting kicked to the curb. I don't care. And niggas be like, man, I was your ride or die. Man, you sensitive. You know I wouldn't be acting. I don't give a fuck. Because I know how these things typically play out, and I'm going to keep it a beam. Like I said, it's not even about the fucking stupid ass game. It's more or less the principle. Right? The principle is, if you love me and I love you, and we can't listen to each other, we can't listen to comprehend, I don't want you fucking around me. Because in your head, you think you Jesus in the flesh. Guess Jesus must have forgot his JanSport or something, and you just came in the flesh as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, like, keep it a being. Like, yo, if you think you can't do no wrong, or you can't be checked, or you can't be corrected, or you can't be, or you think everything how you move is right, or if you do something wrong, it was somebody else's fault. If you can't take no accountability, I don't want to fucking be around you. I'd rather be with myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that headache. Because later on down the line, there's going to be things like parenting a kid if we have a child. Things, we're in a dire situation. An emergency might come up, trials and tribulations. And if you can't fucking listen to me during those tough times, if you can't listen to me when we having fun, just enjoying ourselves, it means you don't respect me. If you don't respect me, I don't want you around. I don't want to be around niggas who don't respect me. Because if it's a nigga, we're going to have to do what we're going to have to do. Cause I try to stay away from motherfuckers who don't like me and don't have respect. I don't need you to explain to me why you don't like me. Just stay the fuck away from me. That's it. I don't need to sit there like, yeah, I don't like you because, well, you have a lot of hair and I don't. You have 2 parents and I don't. I don't give a fuck why you don't like me. Just stay the fuck away from me. Simple as that. I don't need to know the reason. I don't want to sit through the reason. Get the fuck away from me. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, once you decide that you don't like me, and I'm the type of nigga where it's like I'm as easygoing as easy. Like, I ain't no bitch. I'm not no pushover. But I'm as easygoing as easygoing can get. If you can't get along with me, and I'm the type of nigga where it's like, I may not always see what I do wrong in the moment that it happens, but one thing about it, I'm always the type of person where I'll catch myself. Oh, man, I'm really moving like that? Hey, yo, I apologize, and I'll do better moving forward. That's the type of nigga that I am. I can't speak for everybody else on that bit, but this is what I'm saying. I'm not a type of motherfucker who's going to sit up there, be dead ass in the wrong, know I'm in the wrong, and then don't go make it right, and then just think that, oh, man, come on, let's go. You know how to butter rim. Come on, let's go. Fuck. Come on, let's go get something to eat. I'm not on that type of time. Or like how it was on fucking Lean On Me and shit. He said, you think you bad, don't you? But yeah, like, I'm not that type of nigga. Like, if I know I wronged you, I'm not going to sit up there and wait for you to say something about it the next time. I'm going to come up to you personally and say, you know what, I apologize. Because I'm a real nigga. Like, I'm not saying it because I know a lot of niggas like to say that, and they be like, they not real. I'm different. I'm the type of nigga was like, yo, if I'm wrong, bro, I apologize. I was wrong for what happened. Even, I don't give a fuck if it was yesterday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Which would be like 24 hours ago, roughly. I apologize. And from moving forward, I'm gonna do better as far as my behavior is concerned in that department. That's the type of person I am. So if you're not on that type of wavelength where you can't come up to me and say that you're wrong or take accountability for your actions or lack thereof, stay the fuck from around me. I don't want you near me. Cause you a fucking problem. You a headache. Go fucking stress somebody else out. You know what I'm saying? Go stress somebody else out. I don't give a fuck. Like, go do you. You know what I'm saying? Like how I was in goddamn Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But yeah, honestly, grown people, not really my concern like that, but I just wanted to talk about it because there's a larger conversation that needed to be had that I think could be an applicable lesson to everybody. If your girl, and vice versa for the ladies that's out there, right? If your significant other can't listen to you when you speak, and all they focus on when they respond to you right after you finish talking, maybe sometimes they don't even let you finish. This one thing I can't fuck is this is a huge pet peeve of mine. Don't fucking cut me off while I'm talking. Now, granted, we are all going to do it. It happens. The first thing is don't make it a fucking habit. The second thing is not only don't make it a habit, don't not say excuse me. Oh, excuse me, I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off. Because we are going to cut each other off sometimes. Because we really want to say something we just like. It happens. We're human. But if you making that shit a habit or you not saying excuse me while you interrupting me, get the fuck on from me. That shit pisses me off so fucking much. When a nigga don't let you talk. When a nigga don't let you talk and they keep over talking you, or in their head they got a time limit on what you should say or how they should say it, or they feel like they got enough information out of you so they're gonna cut you off. Now understanding that, you know, the whole purpose of having a conversation is that A, get to talk, and B, get to talk. You don't put a time limit on me, bitch ass nigga. I'm not your fucking dog. And I don't wear a leash or goddamn spike collar, motherfucker. You do not tell me when to fucking stop talking, and you don't tell me when you heard all the details. No, bitch. I stop talking when I'm finished talking, and I say that I'm finished talking. If I didn't finish talking and I'm still going, shut the fuck up. Or either that, or just bye. Have a nice day. I don't want to talk to your wife. But I don't like niggas who just sit there. And by the way, I'm not the type of nigga that's like, I'm considerate. I don't need to talk for like a long ass time. But I'm going to get my fucking point across whether you want to hear it or not. You're not going to cut me off. Because some niggas like try to cut you off. And this, recipe Kevin said, but this one thing I hated too. He'll try to, some of the women he had on his platform, he'll try to like cut them off. I'm like, yo, just let them finish their fucking sentence. You know what I'm saying? Like, let them finish their full thought. I get that in your head you got a general idea, or maybe you don't, because you'll never get a general idea of what they're talking about. Like, if it's not a yes or no question straight up, and it requires a little bit more of a nuanced explanation, let them fucking talk. I don't like niggas that sit up there and be like, yeah, why would I let you talk? No, the fuck you didn't. Bitch, when I'm done talking, I will say it. I'm done. Your turn, bitch. If I didn't do that, if I didn't go duck and point to your ass and say goose, shut the fuck up. Don't say shit. If I'm going duck, hey, wait a minute, shut your bitch ass up. I get there when I get there. I got 5 more people. You the 6th one. They bitch, take a fucking number. Take LeBron's in Miami, bitch. Duck. Shut your bitch ass up. Duck. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like one pet peeve I can't stand, bro. I can't stand a motherfucker that just keep cutting you off while you talking. That pisses me off so bad. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a little something I wanted to share. We're going to move forward. So, couple more things that pissed me all the way the fuck off. And we are going to go check now. The Joe Montana's picture threw me off. So, real quick, because nothing really much to talk about. So, the Patriots send Kayshon Boutte. I feel like they've been wanting to get rid of his ass. And one thing I don't like the NFL, because the Jets, the Colts did the same shit with Adonai Mitchell. I don't like how they treat these receivers that's coming in. You don't get rid of a wide receiver that you draft. I don't know if he got drafted, but you don't get rid of a wide receiver you just drafted after 1 year. That just don't make... It has to be fucking terrible. I mean, this nigga must have like fucking pyramid bricks for hands to sit up there, or fucking Hulk, closed fist Hulk hands. For me to goddamn trade somebody after 1, like, you gotta be dogs. I mean, that's why you can't block. Your route running fucking slow as hell. I'm talking about a grandma and a goddamn jitterbug move faster than your ass. You gotta have some fucking, bruh, on God. You gotta have some fucking Diddy special baby oil on your motherfucking hands for me to trade a wide receiver after 1 year. The Colts did that to Adonai Mitchell, and I really don't like that. That really pissed. I'm an Eagles fan, of course, but that really pissed me off because I'm like, yo, it's unfair to these players. I think Josh Rosen got done really bad. Now, granted, his lack of development, it didn't necessarily like. It didn't catch on enough for people to see the potential, but I think Josh Rosen got done really, really bad. He got done by a greedy-ass organization who, instead of realizing that, oh, shit, we have our pick, they got damn... Even, I would say, what's the old boy name? He on the Cowboys now. He was our backup. Sam Howell got done dirty, too. I felt like he was good enough. Imagine if we got rid of Jalen Hurts in 2022, you know what I'm saying? So, realistically, bro, I'm not gonna lie. What the fuck, Collie? Yeah, bro, like, old boy got done dirty, man. Josh Rosen got done dirty, and so did Adonai Mitchell. Like, I think that's very disrespectful and a slap in the face of these players that come in, man, and you got to do right by them and develop these guys. Like, the person has to be absolutely fucking dog shit. You feel what I'm saying? But it is what it is with that. So yeah, the Patriots gave up. So Kayshon Boutte, another good weapon for Houston alongside whatever they got, and they get safety Jalen Reed. So it's all right. You know what I mean? I have nothing to say. I think both teams got what they want. C.J. Stroud gets another receiver, and Patriots get another person on defense at safety, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think anybody really lost in this trade. You feel me? All right. So anything else I want to talk about? Okay. So the shit that pissed me off just now. Former Ole Miss. Oh hell no. So now, when motherfuckers get cut from the NFL, this a lot of shit, dog. It's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit going on. So instead of these players goddamn going to find something else to do with their life, shit, go do what the fuck Miles Jack did. And Miles Jack had a better career than some of these niggas that's goddamn going back to college. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, like, now niggas gonna start abusing the system and shit. Deshaun Watson is the starter for the fucking Cleveland Browns. Then Deshaun Watson apologized for. There's nothing to apologize for. There's no fucking way in the hell. And I didn't want to speak because I already spoke on the Deshaun Watson situation like 1,000 times. There's no new perspective I'm going to talk. That's why I didn't cover it. Even though it was big news about that press conference, there's no reason for me to go cover it at all. It's not. I will say this, though. Todd Monken, they need to fire y'all because I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I ain't gonna lie. I said, yo, in the very beginning, yo, they got him a good coach. Nigga doing all that. We wanted you in Baltimore. All that bull. Nigga sound like a fucking regular tobacco user and shit. Yeah, we wanted you in Baltimore. Should I? Give me some skin. Should I? Give me some skin. Give me some shit. Some skin like the old Washington team. Give me some skin. Like, get your goofy ass out of here, dawg. Like, yo, there's no fucking way that you looked at Deshaun Watson for the last 4 fucking years and said that this guy needs to be the starter. I don't give a fuck how much money he making. The writing's better on the wall. This nigga is probably the worst starting quarterback in the fucking league. The worst quarterback the starting quarterback in the fucking league. The man cannot even throw in a tight spiral past 20 fucking yards. He's absolutely been dog shit. You telling me, bro, that Shedeur is that fucking bad? Yes, he threw 2 interceptions, but listen, it's not a real game. Like, this is the problem with social media, and this is what will really be fucking me up. Why do we give a fuck about these players making them? Like, I know Jalen Hurts' interception went viral. Who cares? You're supposed to throw interceptions in practice. You're supposed to throw interceptions in the preseason. It's not the regular season, dog. Granted, in the preseason, you're trying to prove, you're in a quarterback battle. I get that. But we need to go back to allowing players to make mistakes, especially off shit that don't count. I mean, that's like fucking around and like goddamn, expect everybody to hold in their waist. Like, bro, like, you gotta let these players make a fucking mistake. And why not the preseason? Why not fucking training camp and practice and shit? It's not a real game. It doesn't fucking matter. Let these players be fucking human. That's how you learn. So, yeah, Shedeur threw 2 bad passes. So, because I saw, outside of them interceptions for the last couple games, I saw him. He gets the ball out quick. He processes very well. Shedeur got a lot of potential. He got some development to do. There's no question about that. He's not a finished product. You know what I'm saying? But there's no fucking way that you looked at Deshaun Watson and said he needs to be a starter over Shedeur. Shedeur is clearly by fucking far the best quarterback on your roster. It makes no fucking sense. And then that's what you're going to do. You're going to throw Shedeur in the fucking fire about week number 5, week number 6. The fuck? Now, if he succeeds, great. If he doesn't, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? So now you're putting up all this pressure. So when Watson starts sticking up the fucking joint, like somebody left a used diaper in the middle of a fucking hallway, or somebody goddamn ran over a goddamn skunk with a goddamn SUV and left that bitch on somebody's kitchen table. So when the nigga starts sticking up the fucking joint, oh yeah, Shedeur, come clean up this fucking mess. What the fuck are you talking about? That's like motherfuckers sit up there like assembling crates, knowing the bitches could fall over. Then they fall over. They be like, oh, come over and clean up. Bitch, you should have goddamn organized it right the first time so nothing will fall, break, or spill. What are we talking about? Todd Monken, I hope your ass get fired after year 1. The fact that Shedeur is not quarterback 1, and I'm not saying it because I'm rooting for him. Of course I want him to be quarterback 1. But it's very obvious, objectively speaking, he's the best quarterback out the 3 you have. Is he a finished product? No. Does he make mistakes? Yes. So, make mistakes in the preseason, make mistakes in training camp, and then, but he clearly looks good enough. He could start. But to sit up there and make him a fucking starter when he has shown absolutely nothing with his fucking play. Absolutely nothing. And Deshaun Watson, you think that your apology actually means something. It fucking don't. Number 1, you meant every fucking word that you said. You even said, oh, how I feel about it, I'm going to keep between you and me and my family. We kind of already know how you feel. There's probably going to be some profanity in there. Watch your profanity. But it's gonna be some kind of profanity. Like, man, fuck these stupid ass, this little small ass town. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably, come on, bro. So at the end of the day, bro, like, and also you got the case that gave people a bad taste in the mouth. Now, whether or not he did it or didn't do it, it's still a gray area with that. The league punished him anyway. And you're trash. You're actually the worst starting quarterback in the fucking league. Why would people cheer for you exactly? So lack of self-awareness is just fucking killing me. He's better off just saying nothing. You know what I mean? Better off just say, like, you know what, I owe the fans a lot more than what I've been giving them as far as my play on the field. And just leave it at that. If we fuck with it, we fuck with it. If they don't fuck with it, they don't fuck with it. But you apologizing to the fans as if you regret anything you say. You don't regret anything. You just trying to play the PR game. Your publicist probably told you to do that shit. Your agent probably told you to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? But you don't mean that. There's no point in you doing that. All right, the Ravens believe center Pinter is out for the year. Jesus. Then the 49ers owner got arrested for Constitution. You know why I'm saying that. Bengals release O-lineman for the 3 seasons. Yeah, it's just like fire Monken's ass after the first year. That's all I gotta say. That's an undercover ad on known prostitution website. $140, nigga, really? Yo, what's up with these niggas not having no fucking game, bro? The money should goddamn, nigga, you already tackled the hardest part, which is getting the bread. So, nigga, you got all the time and you're a fucking owner, bro. All you gotta do is goddamn, nigga, you got money for a gym. And, bro, and women gonna want you regardless because you got the bread. Nigga, like, all you gotta do is just learn a little game. What's up with these people? Fathers ain't teaching these young men the game no more, bruh. What's up, man? Everybody trying to resort to doing this online tricking and shit, bruh. Come on, dog. It's $140. That's fucking crazy. Come on, bro. Like, what happened to game? Bring back game, bro. Because if y'all niggas had game, y'all wouldn't be getting into this bullshit y'all getting into, bro. Because then you learn how to have self-control. When you do goofy-ass shit like this, come on, bro. His ass is gone. Sentence a day in jail. What is that going to do? There's no point. A day in jail for each charge. How many charges was it? You have filed for divorce. So the nigga had a wife? When did this happen? I have nothing to say about that. All right, we're going to move the hell off. We're going to look at Joey Shake's reaction to the second preseason game, and we're going to probably watch more preseason, and then that's going to be it. It's going to be a chill stream today, man.
How to live like royalty on a budget on Airbnb. Book a home with a majestic view and split it 4 ways. Have this fashion queen take you thrifting.
I decree you fabulous.
And book a local chef.
Yes. Oh my God, that was so good. I don't care if we lost this game. That's not what it's about. It's about competition. It's about who is standing out. And let me tell you, from the first preseason game to the second were major differences. And we saw a total production of a lot of players. We got to go.
I don't know what's up with Tanner McKee, man. Tanner McKee ain't balling like he used to be. I don't know if he lost his confidence because of the Commanders game in the regular season, bro. But I need to get back to playing like that demigod again, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Over the Eagles-Patriots preseason game. Let's get straight into it all.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Bro about to be on his goddamn fourth year on the team. He up there like mad regressive. Like, Tanner, I need you to step it up, brother.
All right, so we're going to get into it because obviously we got to talk about running back Carson Steele. Okay, Carson Steele obviously was with the Chiefs last year, was a preseason standout with them last year. Okay, and they barely played him. He played like in one game for like 20-something yards last year, nothing much. The Eagles picked him off waivers this past offseason. He got into the second preseason game with a chip on his shoulder, with a vengeance. I don't know what was running through his veins, but it definitely wasn't human blood. But he is probably the most gifted bruiser type back with probably the most shiftiness I've ever seen at 6'1", 223 to almost 230 pounds. 12 carries, 33 rushing yards, and he had 6 receptions for 84 yards and a touchdown. I mean, what the hell? Basically, when Carson Steele has the ball in his hands, I mean, he's got this burst of speed, which is crazy. The physicality on top of contact, taking players on his back to the ground with him. I mean, it's a sight to see. But a couple of these screen passes, he's leaping over players. He's looking like a superstar out there. It's almost as if I was like earlier in the game, I was like, he's not better than Will Shipley. And then I sit here to myself, you got to keep him on this roster. That there is no way that this guy is making it off waivers. There's no way that this guy is going to be able to stay on the practice squad. I'm telling you that right now. A bruiser back that has some shiftiness, that can catch out of the backfield. You can throw to him like he's a wide receiver. I mean, catch the ball, turn upfield on a dime. I mean, the transition of his body, it's just insane. First preseason game, I think he only had like a few snaps in the fourth quarter. They gave him more snaps in this game, and he took advantage of every single snap. Compared to Will Shipley, and let me tell you, Will Shipley had a touchdown as well, and he had about 10 carries for 61 yards, and those holes were wide open. Shipley looks good, but I feel like Carson Steele is giving us just a little bit more, to the point where, am I trying to keep 4 running backs on this roster this year? Howie Roseman's got some tough decisions with this running back core. Behind Saquon and Tank Bigsby, Eagles have to find.
If you ask me my opinion, I think that this might be unpopular. Carson Steele either need to get moved to fullback. That's what I thought he originally came here for, was to be our fullback. Or you need to cut him and let somebody else go grab him. Because there's not enough room for us to be able to fully utilize him in this offense. And then to have him at third string running back is kind of like, doesn't really mean anything. And we had Tank Bigsby to take off the load for Saquon. So it doesn't necessarily make sense to keep Carson Steele. We might have to cut him, or either that, we got to move him to fullback. There's no other way outside of that, because I don't think cutting Shipley makes no sense. Even though like your Carson Steele definitely shown more than Shipley, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's like, oh yeah, Shipley got to go practice squad or whatever. You know what I mean? And I don't think you're doing him justice putting him on the practice squad or making him a third string back.
Find out what they're doing with these two guys, because Carson Steele didn't just get lucky in this game. He took over this game. And another group that really fucking ascended again for the second straight game, the backup offensive line. The Eagles gave up only 3 sacks in this game. Cameron Holmes at the end of the game, Michael Jordan in the second half, and you had, I think, gave up a sack in the first half, which was perfectly fine. Not a bad day for just the backups in the first half, but let me tell you, Markel Bell, Drew Kendall, Willie Lampkin, even when Miles Hinton was playing with the second team left tackle, they were fucking bullies. The series that we did watch on the Will Shipley touchdown, did you see how they bullied that fucking defensive line? Markel Bell opening holes, Willie Lampkin literally bullying blocks till the whistle. Did you see Drew Kendall at right guard? I mean, he's monstrous. That group is impressing me day by day. When I think about Lane Johnson retiring, I think Markel Bell. When I see, Tyler Steen not getting a contract for the Eagles after this year, I'm I'm thinking Drew Kendall. There are some really good things that are working out with this offensive line. The trenches are where the bread and butter of this team is. It starts with them on both sides. It was almost like that backup line was literally taking their lunch money. Holy fucking shit, what a great job they did for the second game. And as for the international players and Josh Weru and Ur Bernard, I mean, Ur Bernard had like 2 tackles today, which was great. I'm so happy for Ur Bernard. I mean, at least he was somewhat productive in this game. He had 13 snaps last game. I don't know what he had this second game, but he definitely had more snaps, and he was somewhat productive, and it's almost like he took another step and another step and another step, and hopefully we get to see a little bit more, maybe going to that third preseason game. Now, Josh Weru from Kenya, the international player, 2 big plays. He got his first sack of the day. Felt so good for him, his teammates surrounding him and celebrating with him. And there was another play that was even better than the sack. It was a bootleg by the Patriots quarterback, trying to fake out the entire defense. And guess what? Josh Weru, the international player, was not fooled at all and got pressure on the quarterback and converted an incompletion. That's a good sign. Now we're seeing growth from both of these guys. It's just going to get better, and yeah, I mean, that was fantastic. We can't forget about another guy on the defensive line either, because Ty Robinson.
Why are you still using bots for your meetings? How else am I going to remember what happened? Just use granola. Okay, what's granola? With
Ty Robinson's ascension and his progress that he's made as a player, it's going to make it a little bit easier to get rid of Moro Jomo. Now, I want to make it very clear. If it was up to me, Moro Jomo would stay Eagle for at least a vast majority of his career, at the very least. But I'm going to keep it a bean. Some teams going to want him, and good for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it...
Oh my God, Ty Robinson! He is gorilla, vanilla gorilla, however you call it. I don't know what he had statistic-wise. He had 2 sacks. I mean, he had 2 sacks. He ran a couple stunts, had a sack on one, but there were other plays where he had some hurries, he had some pressures. He got to the quarterback's face a lot. What a big step for Ty Robinson, especially what your DT position looks like right now. Going into the future, Moro Jones will become a free agent next year. You might have a guy that could be that third guy in the future, could be the 4th guy right now with Byron Young right next to him. If he can help out Moro Jomo on the other side of the second rotation, I think good things are going to happen this year. And wow, Ty Robinson, it's looking good. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks, the #1 sports picks app. You can win cash while watching your favorite games. The app is really easy to use. All you have to do is pick more or less on player stats. We're talking touchdowns, yards, MVP, you name it. You can also mix in team stats like winners or totals on specific games. Prize Picks is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Now, I did a 2-pick power play. 1, Jalen Hurts, the Philadelphia Eagles at 3,225.5 passing yards. I picked the more on that, guys. I mean, they're going to unleash screen game, short passing game, more vertical this year, and a Sean Mannion type offense to get in on the action, to get your entries in right away. You saw Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in this game just making play after play in the backfield. Not sure if he had a sack. I'm trying to remember, but he was all over the place. Like, Trotter Jr., it's a shame he's a backup this year, still continuing to impress in this offseason program. And, you know, by 27, I know he will be a starter next to Jahad Campbell. But for right now, I wonder what they're going to do with him, because it's just a criminal to even sit him. As for Eli Stowers and kind of hoping that he would have a better game, I don't think he had a better game. There might be some more film that I don't have in my possession yet to see, like, did he get open on some other plays that we didn't see? But he did get open on a crucial 3rd down for Andy Dalton. And guess what? They overthrew him when he was wide open. He was running a in and out to the sideline on the left side, wide open, and it looks like Andy Dalton completely missed him. And that was just a shitty opportunity. And I feel like every time that Eli Stowers gets into a game, he always has It's almost a no fair chance that he can't get a production type rep, and it's annoying. Now, what else did he do in the game, and how many reps did he have? I honestly don't know how long. I don't feel like he was in the game for that long, and I don't know why. I feel like if it's one guy you need to play a lot, it is him. So I wonder what the reason is behind that. So maybe there's more from Eli Stowers. I don't know. Now, Darius Cooper was obviously another one out there. Caught 2 really good passes. One, it was a dump off on the right side that kind of got upfield. Made a couple guys miss. The athletic ability of Darius Cooper is just so damn good. And I think he was targeted another time where it was overthrown when he was open, so I'm not really surprised over that. Now, let's talk about the quarterbacks, okay? And Tanner McKee and Andy Dalton. Okay, Cole Payton got the short end of the stick last night. He got thrown into the game with like 53, 54 seconds left, which, like, what the fuck is he supposed to do? Like, why even? You might as well just took a fucking knee. I mean, if it was at least a minute and a half or we had to win the game, I guess with a little bit more time, I wouldn't really have cared. Should have just kept McKee in that entire second half. But let's just excuse Cole Payton. He'll get his reps for the week 3 preseason game, all 4 quarters. Nick Sirianni said going into the second preseason game, they wanted to give McKee more snaps than Andy Dalton because Andy Dalton is a vet with a lot more experience. Okay, now if you look at the joint practices, the first day against the Patriots, it was Andy Dalton with the second team. The second day, it was Tanner McKee with the second team. And it was fucking ugly. Did both of these quarterbacks play better than last week in the first preseason game? Yes. Was it by much? No. It seems like Andy Dalton was more successful with the long ball over 10 to 12 yards than Tanner McKee that really couldn't throw over 7, 8 yards. If you were going to ask me who's the quarterback that stays and who's the quarterback that goes, because I don't think both these quarterbacks are playing for week 3, I think this was the day they find out who's really going to be here. And honestly, I would really want to keep McKee over Dalton. Dalton, to me, has more experience, but I think the longevity of McKee, knowing the coaching staff, has good chemistry with the players and has had starting experience and can give us a little bit of some success. I feel like I could trust McKee to take over a game or two more than Dalton. Now, I think Tanner McKee actually saved his job because the middle of that fourth quarter, there was a few short passes that were actually pretty good. And then obviously had the screen pass to Carson Steele for the touchdown that kind of put the icing on the cake. Is it by much? Is it by a lot? Probably not, in my opinion. I just feel like even in the new scheme, I feel like McKee should be a little bit better. And Dalton, he's been a glorified backup at this point for a lot of years. So don't know what the Eagles are going to do, and then we'll just see what happens from there of how this thing's going to work out. And as for Jake Elliott, he kicked a few extra points. The first one he almost missed. I mean, it was that close. So, but he redeemed himself with the other 2. He still needs more work. I still don't even trust him at this point from 35 to 40 yards. I mean, I don't know what this guy's going to look like. The punter and Braden Mann, I mean, perfect putts. Perfect. Inside the 15, inside the 10. And special teams didn't do bad. The kick returners were horrible. A lot of backups were played the entire time. Keep Quez Watkins off fucking kick returns. Never put him there ever again. If I was to add another player that, kind of spiked a little bit, I think Sean...
I dead ass don't even know why the fuck he's still on this team, bro. They need to get rid of him. It's over.
Wade, the cornerback, I thought he didn't play that bad. Couple of really big tackles, and then he had that forced fumble. Punched that ball perfectly, and that ball landed perfectly for the Eagles to get that turnover, right on the sideline, which is pretty good. I feel pretty satisfied in what I did see. Of course, I'm not happy with starters not playing, and I absolutely get it. The Eagles had a scare with one of their running backs that ended up leaving in an ambulance. He's going to be okay. And one of the Patriot players ended up getting hurt, the backup right tackle, but I think he went to the medical tent, and then hopefully he's okay. I want to know from you guys what you thought of this second preseason game. Carson Steele, the backup.
Okay, cool. So now we are... Okay, I know I said that I was going to watch preseason games.
I want to show you something.
But we got interviews that we got to look at. So we are going to look at Sirianni, and we'll look at Sean Mannion, and maybe we'll watch a preseason game depending upon Tom Allotte. But we'll look at that. If Sirianni ain't saying shit, bro, we dip it. I don't have time. I hate watching this nigga interviews. I'm only watching it because it's content. But really, I hate this nigga don't be saying shit. But I'm going to watch it. If he says something cool, if not, we moving the fuck on.
Did you think about bringing Tanner back out for that last drive? Why'd you go with like Cole in that situation?
Yeah, again, we had a rep count we wanted to get to, and that's where we went right there in that situation. Obviously, still wanted to win. We knew Cole made some nice plays last game that he was in. Had to protect the ball better in that situation. But yeah, that's just what we decided to do.
Did you feel a little bit better about the offense and particularly how things were going on the ground early on?
Yeah, I thought early on in the ground game looked really good. I thought that second team offensive line did well. And Will did well. And then Carson did some really good things when he was able to get in there, and so there were some positives. But at the end of the day, you get in a competitive situation like that, you always want to win, and there were some things that we did at the end that don't allow you to win.
How did you see Tanner improve upon his performance last week?
Yeah, I thought today he did some good things. There's going to be plays that we're going to have to correct, and then there was a lot of positives. I know his stat wise, he came out having a pretty good game, and so but obviously for all of us, there's going to be corrections within it. But yeah, I thought he did some good things and made some nice plays. Had a couple fourth downs that we would have liked to convert. Not saying that those his fault in that situation, but those fourth downs hurt us not converting there.
Seemed like he got to his answers when there was pressures thrown at you, in particular when Carson was the outlet.
Yeah, he did. He did. He was good. He found his hots on a couple when they brought one more than we could protect, and I thought Sean did a good job of giving him answers there. I thought Sean did a nice job calling the game. And there was really good communication. I'm looking at the play clock again. Another day where I don't feel rushed to have to call a timeout or feeling like it's close to call a timeout. I just thought the operation was really good. It's a credit to our players. It's a credit to our offensive coaches and the communication that's going on there.
Could you and your players always talk about how important the practice situation, practice plays. And did you get a lot of things on film today? You certainly had a lot of opportunities for situation football. Do you think you got a lot on film to work on during the week?
Yeah. It's the dumbest fucking question I ever heard. It's like, do you think the quarterback still is the person who takes the ball from the center? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, is football still measured in yardage and not inches or feet? What the fuck are you What kind of stupid ass question is that? Of course there's going to be fucking film for this. Is a dumbass question, dog.
Anytime you step out in the field, you're going to get some good things to coach from and look at. And so, we'll look at that. There's some situational things beyond red zone, third down that, we're just not going to put on tape right at this particular time. So those are things that we discuss throughout the week, throughout preseason. In this situation, we're going to do this. In this situation, we're going to do that. And so, again, we get a lot more of that work in practice, particularly when it becomes to specific things within 2 minute and 4 minute and stuff like that. But some of the third downs, the red zone, and even the 2 minute will be some good things to study and learn from.
When it comes to Andy, the numbers have been great these first two games. But do you factor in experience, what you know about him when you're looking at that number 2 job?
Yeah, I think both the guys are battling. I'm really confident in both the guys, and we'll see where that goes. Again, like I said, it's still a competition. The reason Andy's going in first, in practice they're still rotating. Andy's going in first because he's not going to play quite as much as Tanner because he has had more experience, and Tanner he has more experience within this type of system, and Tanner needs to continue to play there because I think you saw the improvements there from Tanner, and so we got to continue to give both of them opportunities.
It sounds like he trying to goddamn make Tanner McKee the third string, and I don't like that.
Opportunities within practice and potentially games. We'll see how next week goes, and obviously I'm not there yet. But that was the plan today to go in. But everything is accounted for. Yes, Jeff, to answer your question.
With Trotter, how does he make you feel about the depth in the inside linebacker room overall?
Yeah, I think when you have guys that, like, Trot has contributed on this football team for the past 2 years, and it's a great indicator of how defensive players can be, of how they do on special teams. And Trot has been a special teams ace for us for the last couple years. We really rely on him in those situations, so we know that, because of how much space and how much room there is on special teams, they got to come up and get off blocks. They have to make tackles in the open field, and so that gives you a lot of confidence there. And then every time he seems to step out and play a game or in practice, he does a good job. And I think he's an instinctive player. He works his butt off. He's physical. And I think I just continue to see him get better. So I really like that room. Smile does an awesome job. And I feel like when we're watching team meetings, he's consistently on the tape of like, man, this is how you're supposed to block, destruct. This is how you're supposed to strip attempt. And then Chance had a good day today, and I'm excited about Deontay. And then, Brandon George came in off the street last week and made 2 special teams tackles. So, and Bobby King, I just think is a phenomenal linebacker coach of coaching the fundamentals. Because at the end of the day, it's about how you get off blocks, and it's how you tackle and how you can lead the unit and get everybody lined up. And I can't say enough good things about Bobby of how he's developed these guys as well. And so, I love that room, and I think they're playing good football right now, and we'll look at the tape and get more answers.
Since we didn't talk to you after the second joint practice, what did you make of how the first unit in particular performed in those red zones, both offense, defense?
Yeah, there was good, there was bad. It was back and forth practice. We went through the tape obviously a couple days ago and watched it with the guys as an offensive unit, as a team, as position coaches, in position meetings. And so it was good to go against a quality opponent, and who's well coached. The hospitality here was great. We were able to get a lot of good work in. Sometimes when you have 2 days of work, you can hit every situation, right? When you only have 1 day, and there's benefits of going 1 day, there's benefits of going 2 days. But we were able to get 2 really good days where we're hitting, red zone, and we're hitting 2-minute both days, and we're hitting first and second down and get back on track stuff and third down. So there was a lot of good that we take from that. I think that, again, joint practices are if the guys don't play in preseason, joint practice is such a pivotal step for particularly year ones. And I also think when you're on the road, it's a really good connector. The guys have nothing else to do but, hang out with each other. It's almost like being away for training camp. Obviously we don't go away for training camp, and I like being in Philadelphia. Yeah, it's a great connector, and we really value that.
Look like Ty Robinson continued to come to life tonight with 2 couple sacks.
He did a nice job, and he continues to do a nice job and have a nice preseason. He's showing that knack to rush the passer, but I also think he's doing a good job.
Did he hit the yards? I don't know what the fuck. First off, frog legs for my stew. Please explain. If you still in here, please explain to me what the hell you talking about. You're not even in here. Say that dumbass
defeating
comment.
Blocks and doing a good job in the run game. Again, I'll have to watch the tape from today. I think the splash plays obviously were there, but I do think that it's just another really good. I can't say enough.
There, somebody popcorn ready or something?
Of how he works the fundamentals with his guys, and I really value him and everything that he brings to this football team, and he does a great job. These guys play hard for him, and they continue to get better at the fundamentals as well. And that's our job as coaches, is to take players from the one level and bring them up another level through all those different things, particularly fundamental coaching. And Clint's done a nice job, and obviously Ty has as well.
2 more? Or no more?
How has, you talked a little bit about Will Shipley, but how do you feel like he's taken to the new blocking scheme in front of him and, building on his last week's performance too against the Ravens?
Yeah, I thought he ran the ball well today. I mean, he had some opportunities to run some wide zone stuff and had some opportunities to run some downhill stuff. Will, here's another guy that in his 2 years here has been a guy that has really contributed on special teams. And I can't begin to tell you how much trust that builds for a player. Like when you put him in there, he's obviously behind Saquon and Tank, but when you put him in there and he's got an opportunity on special teams, I mean, it just gives you so much trust in the player and we know he can run the football. We know he's talented at that and being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. And so we're really pleased with him. And again, I can't say enough of when a guy is not getting the carries or not getting the play time and they can contribute on special teams, of how important that is for us in our decision making and the trust that we build. And so, it's rare that you see a good team and you're like, man, that's a really good team. They just stink on special teams, right? You don't hear that very often. And so I value those guys, and they've done a nice job.
How'd you keep the team focused after what happened to JJ on the first play?
Yeah, that's always rough to see that. That's always hard to see that when a stretcher comes out. I think we had that in 2022 with Josh Sweat. I remember, I can't remember what game that was, maybe New Orleans. But that's always tough. We were able to, from what I understand, everything is progressing. I haven't met with the medical yet, but it sounds like everything's progressing. I know our guys care about each other. And so that's tough. That's tough. And I think that, you just kind of say a prayer for him and you move on to the next thing. But that was tough, and I'm glad he's doing okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Cover your hands.
That wasn't the worst interview that Sirianni's done. It was somewhat insightful. All right, Sean Manny, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do before.
What's going, guys?
So first game in the booth, how did it go, and what are some of the differences you noticed from being on the sideline?
Yeah, I was glad you was able to experience it. I thought the communication really, both game one and game two, being on the field or in the booth was smooth. Great communication with the coaches. There's some differences, but I felt really comfortable with both of them, and still sorting through all that as a staff. But it was a good opportunity in the preseason get to use both options.
What are you going to do on Friday? Have you made a decision?
No, still sorting through that.
As far as backup quarterback, and in the preseason it's difficult because sometimes you're playing second team, third team. How does that affect the evaluation when the stats may look better for somebody than somebody else?
Yeah, with any position, quarterback or otherwise, it's about the entire body of work. Obviously the preseason games are a really useful tool to evaluate. Obviously a game setting, different situations kind of coming up unscripted. But these guys have been hard at work starting back in April. We've got tons and tons of reps on the practice field as well. Both quarterbacks, really all of our quarterbacks have done a really nice job in the practice setting, in the game setting. So it's really about the entire body of the work. Certainly the preseason is part of that, but there is a ton of banked reps going all the way back to the spring as well.
With a player like Andy, Sean, there's got to be a point where you want to name that number two or decide on that so they can get as much reps as possible as the primary backup. Do you feel like you guys are at that point now?
No, we still got time. We still got a whole a great week's work here ahead of the Cincinnati game, and then you get some extra practices before week one as well. So we're going to use every chance we get to work with all of our guys, quarterback or otherwise, and then kind of make a full evaluation from every bit of practice that we have.
The system was new for Tanner. What did you see from him on Saturday, and what was kind of in the playbook there to maybe get a look at what he can do?
Yeah, he did a nice job operating. I thought they got the ball out of his hand fast, found completions. Obviously it was nice. We were really able to lean on the run game early on in the game. And then, you had a couple long drives with some third down conversions. He hit Stone on a through route late. So there was good stuff really from all the different units in the game. We leaned on the run game early, and then later on, got a little bit more pass attempts in there, but he operated well, got the ball out of his hands quickly, and as did Andy. We had led us on a scoring drive, and there was a lot of good stuff from all the guys in the game.
With a player like Andy, who has all this experience in the league, how do you weigh that versus what you can evaluate from what you've seen this summer?
Yeah, obviously that's something that Andy brings to the table. He's a veteran in this league. He's got well over 100 starts. That's unique. But we get a chance to be around him, Tanner, Cole, Jalen every day. And so, that's part of what he brings to the room. But everyone's bringing something to the table. Tanner, Cole, Jalen, obviously, they all bring their own experiences. It is something unique to Andy with having so much experience. But ultimately, it's an evaluation on the field, both in the practice and the games. That's the driving force.
How did Jalen Hurts perform in the joint practices?
I thought he did a good job. I thought the first day, we had a lot of big plays and just a couple turnovers we need to clean up. Obviously, that's always a focus for us. But you could really see the run game come to life. You could see the play passes off of it. We hit a nice pylon route to Elijah. But you could see the explosives in the pass game as well. A couple turnovers. Those are obviously things we always want to address.
I don't know how you say it. I'm gonna say Likey. I don't know how to say your name, but welcome to the stream.
Talk about the ball.
And to give you context, you're watching like Eagles press conferences and shit. So
he did a really nice job. For the guys who didn't play in the game, they got a ton of great work in those two practices against the Patriots. I was really happy with how Jalen played throughout.
Joel, we've seen Mekhi Lemon look close to returning to a full participant. Do you expect that this week? And what's the ramp-up plan for him after missing so much time?
Yeah, he's been working his tail off to get back out here. I think we're hopeful he'll be out on the practice field in some capacity here today. And he's been really, really engaged mentally. And I think that's the challenge. Any player that you're injured, you lose those physical reps, but he's done a really nice job. He's been with Amo, Grizz constantly. He's been locked in all the walkthrough settings. Even when he can't get the rep, he's kind of shadowing his position on the field and staying super engaged. And, he's been working his way back. I know he's looked good, and hopefully we'll see him out here in a minute.
So what stood out to you about the run game? Preseason against the Patriots?
Yeah, it was execution and play style. I thought, obviously the starting unit wasn't in there, but that second unit, that third unit, they really did a nice job. We controlled the line of scrimmage, I thought, early in the game, that first series. I thought the play style was on display. Those are the two things I told them I want to execute, really three. Execution, fundamentals, and play style. We were a little sloppy in terms of our fundamentals and execution at times in the preseason game. Number one, I thought it was much improved in game two, particularly with the offensive line group up front.
So what is that?
One thing I noticed about him versus the other coordinators, he's not afraid to call shit out. He said, it was really sloppy. I done seen a lot of coordinators, even Kellen Moore, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson. I ain't watched a lot of Brian Johnson interviews, but Brian Johnson, even Kevin Patullo, I never heard them actually criticize or say something was sloppy about the offense. So that gave me a little bit of hope. I never heard that from many of them. Listen, if I'm crazy, let me know, but I never heard that.
How much space does he have to do?
Yeah, mentally he's been super engaged. So I don't worry about that one bit with Mekhi. I know the work he's been putting in. Injuries, unfortunately, they happen in football. But he's been a total pro about his approach to rehab, his approach to the mental side of the game. And like I said, the unfortunate nature of football is sometimes you might miss some time, but he's done everything in his power, despite not having those physical reps, to be ready for us to make an impact.
In terms of the pre-snap protection calls, does that fall on Daniel primarily?
It's on both the offensive line unit initially, and then the quarterback has a hand in that as well. It's a little bit dependent on the play, on the protection scheme, in terms of how much is on the quarterback's plate, but both quarterback and offensive line have a hand in that.
There's not a person who makes the final call.
Well, again, it would be dependent on the protection scheme. We have multiple different protection schemes. Some of them, it would be the quarterback would have the final say. Some of them, it's communication within the offensive line unit. But they've both done a nice job, both units. There's so much communication on the offensive line that I think goes unseen. Our centers have done a great job. Jalen's done a great job, with some of our pass protection schemes where he does need to make adjustments. He's done a nice job of that as well.
That's very interesting because ever since Jason Kelce's departure, if y'all remember, they made Jalen Hurts make the final call. Because at first it was Kelce. Then when he retired and Jalen started making the calls, now he going back to splitting it. Very interesting.
What's the second offensive line group showing you since Ken started?
Physicality, just the effort, strain every day. Those guys, you watch that kind of those early snaps in the preseason game, it really stood out on the tape, which is what we want to be about as an offense. And then the commitment to the fundamentals. Coop's done a great job with those guys. Obviously the starting unit, but there's a lot of young, talented players kind of in that second, third unit. They've gotten better every day. It's a testament to their hard work, to the work that Coop's done with his position group, and they continue to make strides. We're really pleased with them.
What stands out about the way Chris Cooper handles some of those developmental offensive line?
Yeah, it's detail. He's a great teacher. It's total focus on the fundamentals. I think he's done an outstanding job for us. You can see him every day after practice with those young guys working on, all the finer points of offensive line play, and he brings a unique perspective, having been a player himself. I think he's able to lend a lot of context to, hey, this is where, this adjustment to your fundamentals is super useful. Like I said, he's done a great job with the whole room, and talking about those young guys, right, that are just coming up. It's really stood out in the preseason game with the work he's put in with those guys.
Sean, where do you think, through the entire process, like you were talking about before, Eli Stowers where is he in that process? How much has he improved?
He's getting better each day. He's a young player we're really excited about. Tight end, we've spoken about in some of these press conferences, right? There's a lot of different elements of the game that get thrown at you, especially for a rookie tight end. Some of the differences schematically that NFL offenses will ask of you than a college offense. But he's taken to it really well. Again, some of the things may go unseen. They might not show up on the stat sheet, but he's working super hard. He's an exciting young talent. And so he's getting better each day, and at that position in particular, there's so many different things that we're working on. He's doing a nice job, and he'll keep getting better.
So maybe a bigger picture. In terms of your scheme and having built-in answers to blitz and simulate pressures, how do you balance that with being explosive, being able to throw that downfield? What is your philosophy?
Yeah, I think the first thing is being sound with your protection scheme. And then having answers, kind of pressure relief, so to speak, where, hey, if they are bringing guys that we can't account for in the protection scheme, one, if we train the quarterback properly, and then two, schematically, are there answers within the play? It's a little bit different, week to week, opponent to opponent, in terms of how you handle different teams or different, schematic adjustments. But I think it starts with making sure that we're really sound on our end with our protection rules, our training of the quarterback, to throw hot if need be, or make an adjustment if need be. So I think it's a big area of focus for us as an offense, just to always make sure we're prepared and ready, because when you do protect, when you do operate well, there are opportunities for big plays when teams want to bring pressure.
John, some of the branches of what we expect this offense to look like feature the fullback quite a bit. We haven't seen that yet. Is that something that you might have up your sleeves?
You know what? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't want to reveal too much, but certainly. Position versatility, alignment flexibility, those are things we place a premium on. So it's, I guess, I apologize for not answering the question, but I don't want to reveal too much. But those are things that are very valuable to us as an offense, and that we challenge our guys to do across all our position groups.
If I can test your memory to camp in 2017, what was it like first learning this scheme? And did you know then this is the type of scheme you wanted to kind of, lean into?
Yeah, it was, like you said, that 2017, offseason really, when they hired, Sean McVay and Matt LaFleur and all those guys. I know it's been well documented, but, Zach Taylor, Greg Olson, a bunch of great coaches. I just felt like I was learning so much, and it was...
Zach Taylor, a great coach? That's not what the Bengals playoff record the last few years have said. You may resume.
Such an exciting way to match the run and pass. They had such a way about teaching the game where we could feel ourselves challenging a defense, but it felt simple to us. Those are the things that really stood out to me going through that experience. That really resonated with me as a player, and certainly resonated with me as a coach. But yeah, that was a very exciting point in my football life. Just the exposure to that type of teaching, that type of scheme. I know, Matt, obviously a mentor of mine, getting to play for Sean. I learned so much from those people. It's certainly a big part of, molding me into the type of coach I am now.
Can you envision a role for Carson Steele in this offense?
He's done a great job. Yeah, I mean, he got limited snaps in the first week. Obviously, he was unfortunate. JJ goes down on the opening kickoff, so he carried a heavy workload late in that game, and he handled it really nicely. Again, there's so many guys across our roster that put the work in every day. Carson was a great example of getting an opportunity for expanded reps in the preseason, and really did a nice job with it. Did a great job with the ball in his hand, run and pass. So yeah, there could certainly be a role for him, and I was excited to see him go out there and really thrive in the reps he got.
I don't like that answer to that last question. I don't like that. It just sounds like they're okay with losing. But then again, like I said, unless you're utilizing a fullback, I don't see a place for him on this team. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's not the fullback, you're not going to take out Shipley. That doesn't make sense. I think we're good with the three. it don't make sense to affect Shipley's playing time if he's going to get any. So, yeah, you make Carson Steele the fullback. But, yeah, that's all I got to say, man. That's it. We're going to watch more of I know we're still going to watch preseason games, but I'm like, you know what? I think it's easy to just go knock out the Eagles interviews real quick, and then we can spend tomorrow watching preseason games. That's what we'll do. If Vic Fangio got an interview, we'll watch that too as well. But that's all I got to say, y'all. I'm out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Monday, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow we start off with piano. We're going to try to learn a new song. It's no rush. Take our time with this shit. I already found the website for it. Like I done said about a couple videos, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. I'm out of here. Peace.